Welcome back, everyone. Joining us in studio now, we have Saja Koirala, a local resident, and her new guide dog, Layla, are in studio. They both recently graduated from the nation's leading guide dog school, Guiding Eyes for the Blind. Congratulations to both of you. Thank you for being with us.
Yes, thank you so much, and thank you for having us.
So, Saja, tell us a little bit about yourself and Layla.
So, my name is Saja, and I'm originally from Nepal. I came to the U.S. in 2010 to get my AA degree, and then I got my AA degree, I got my bachelor's, I got my master's,
Wow.
and I decided to stay in the U.S., and now I'm working on a PhD in communication and information sciences at the University of Hawaii.
That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, big congratulations. Tell us a little bit about Layla.
Layla is my first guide dog, and I got this dog from Guiding Eyes, like you said. And the process, how it works at the school is that after the dogs are born, when the dogs are 8 or 9 weeks old, they are raised by somebody else. They are called puppy raisers, and the school, Guiding Eyes, is in New York, and Layla was actually raised in Massachusetts. And when she was 16 or 17 months old, she came back to school, and they trained her for about 5 to 6 months, and
Wow.
after that, I went in to New York, and then I trained with her for 3 weeks. Layla is a good dog. She's very relaxed, very laid back, very pleasant. She's very easy to work with.
Now, Saja, you're obviously here in studio to tell us about the program. You were telling me before we got started, though, that you weren't always a dog person necessarily.
No, I was not. So in Nepal, we do have dogs, but they are primarily kept as watchdogs. They stay outside the house, they take care of the house, they bark when suspicious things are going on. So we do not allow dogs, for the most part, we do not allow dogs inside the house. We are not as intimate with our dogs as Americans are. So yes, I was not a dog person. But when I came to the U.S., and I did not know that guide dogs actually existed, that dogs were used to help blind people. But when I came to the U.S., I started to learn about guide dogs. I started to make friends with people with guide dogs. And also that really fascinated me. And I started reading a lot about guide dogs. So yeah, so I decided to get a guide dog. I was not always a dog person.
That's really interesting. I would have never have guessed because you guys seem so comfortable together. You said you were contemplating getting a guide dog for 7 years.
That's correct.
So how does it feel now to have Layla home with you?
I find it unbelievable. To me, this is like, this is it. This is the ultimate American thing to do as a blind person. I will say that this is my greatest achievement in the U.S. I cannot believe I have a live trained dog with me. It feels unreal.
Oh, you just gave me chills to hear that. Yeah, Layla is so well behaved.
Thank
so
you.
what are some of the things that Layla does for you and helps you with?
So I just got her a week ago, so I'm still learning to work with her, and she's learning to work with me in a new environment. While we did work together for 3 weeks, that was in New York, so Layla is now adjusting to the weather, to the time change, and this new atmosphere. So as of now, in a week, what I have noticed is that there are 2 things that really stood out to me when I walk with Layla. Number 1, she takes me around obstacles. I do not run into things anymore. When I walked with my cane, sometimes I would run into benches, sometimes I would run into poles, sometimes I would run into boards that have different signs, but with Layla, she just takes me around them. And number 2, and this is to me the most important advantage of having a guide dog, is that she walks me straight in a line. When I walk with my cane, sometimes I veer off to my left, sometimes I veer off to my right. With Layla, that doesn't happen. And those are the 2 things that have really stood out to me working with a guide dog.
Do you feel like you've already, I know she's only been home for a week, but do you feel like you've already formed that bond with her?
I do. Actually, I do. Even while we were in training, like in a week, she started to follow me around the room, everywhere I went, to the bathroom. She would actually lean against the tub and wait until I was done with my shower.
Wow.
And she does that at home too. So yes, I do feel like I have a strong bond with her. She follows me around everywhere at home, everywhere I go.
See, now you're a dog person.
Yes, I can't believe I guess I'm becoming one.
Now, before we go, we also want this to be an educational moment for our viewers. So naturally, people get excited when they see a dog. What do you want them to know about how people should respond if they see a guide dog?
Yeah, I really want the public to understand that these dogs are working. Guiding a human being takes a lot of work and a lot of focus. So when these dogs are working, they're so focused on guiding. And so when you want to pet or play with the dog on the street, it distracts them. So please, don't do that. As lovely, as cute, as irresistible it may be to not pet a dog, please do not pet a guiding dog, a working dog. Because just like how human beings, just like how we are focused at work, in the same way these dogs are focused, because when they are walking, they are actually working. So, you know, I'm not just taking, when I walk on the street with a guide dog, I'm not just, taking my dog on a leisurely walk. She's actually guiding, she's working. So refrain from the urge to pet a dog. And also, I really would prefer for public to ask me first if it's okay to pet my dog, rather than just start to pet my dog without letting me know. So, you know, if you see a blind person on the street, sometimes we can tell that someone is approaching us because we hear footsteps, but other times we cannot tell because there might be a lot of noises going on or whatever. And so if we just come and start petting my dog, that's kind of scary in a way.
Yeah, you know, I can't even believe people do that in the first place. They should always ask a dog owner if they can pet.
And sometimes people just bring their dogs in Layla's face, and that ticks her off, and it's very distracting.
So guys, Layla is working. If you see a guide dog, you know, they're on the job. Saja, thank you so much for being with us. I learned a lot from you, and it was great to see both you and Layla in studio.
Thank you so much.
Bridget, send it back to you.